feel a moral obligation to use my comparatively modest platform to push back against this slurry of boneheaded, brazen nonsense, because it really does just lower this whole format of online media criticism.
I believe his name is Pilar of Garbage. I think it's French.
Yeah. I don't
Bonjour.
I don't think he's realized that his name is actually a dunk on himself.
It's been pointed out to me more than a few times.
I have so let's check that out actually, since you brought it up.
Also, can I just say that intro music? I'm so hyped now. I could take on the world.
Oh, thank you.
I know,
man.
right?
Yeah.
Pillar of Garbage. Appropriate name for a YouTube channel if there is one.
Fitting name for you.
Damn, this channel's videos and your takes
However,
really
your
do honor
opinions,
its name.
subjective as they
Pillar
are,
of
can go in the
Garbage.
garbage. Just
Pillar
like your
of Garbage
channel.
is a good
Hashtag
name for your
restore the
channel, because
snipers.
that's exactly
Why don't you
what
do
your
a video
argument
showing
is.
how all
Stop
the
lying and
white male
gaslighting
characters
to
of
the
garbage
world.
is actually the original trilogies because the upstaged and outsmarted by younger women. So
Clearly
take yourself
you won't,
down
because
because you're
instead of being a vile,
Pillar of
dishonest
Garbage
worst
suits
fool,
the name of your
you
channel
want to stop the
fine.
violence.
Pillar of
That's
Garbage
all
is
it
a
is.
good name for
Step
your
garbage.
channel,
Because that's
this
exactly
is by far
what
the
your
worst
argument
video
is.
Pillar of Garbage has ever made. I guess he's finally living up to his name.
Look, I don't care if you don't like my videos, or even if you feel compelled to tell me that in the comments. Just please, I am begging. Think of one other way to say it.
Amazing. Yeah, we were talking about beforehand, like similar things that we've gotten, right? Like people cleverly finding ways to insult you with your own channel name. And
Yeah.
whatnot.
They always think they're so clever, don't they? They think, oh my god, no one else has ever thought of this before.
Yeah, no, I love hosting the channel Disorganized Chaos. I feel so burned with that.
Oh yeah,
right.
Need to reset my whole channel.
Yeah,
exactly. Yes,
one joke.
I mean, Turd Nation is I must say that's a good dunk.
Yeah,
I have no answer.
He's like, you know, points for that for sure.
Yeah.
It was like, this guy's posting 20-minute videos diving into something. I'm gonna change one letter of his username. Point counted.
Burn.
Yeah, the ones that really get me are like every once in a while. There's maybe more often than every once in a while, but like they seem like they think if they just formulate the right combination of words that they can, like, I don't know, make us delete our channels or something like that.
Yeah,
you know
the thing is, like a spell they can cast. They just have to figure out the right incantation. But the weird thing is, like, because these days, every time I get a comment like that, I just link that short and reply.
Excellent.
And like when I do that, it's happened a couple of times that like some guy who's been being a right prick, you know, being really insulting, garbage content, you just blah blah. I link the comment, or like, you know, I link the short, or I reply or something, and then like when they realize that like there is a person they're replying, they're commenting on, like, that is seeing their comment and that has taken the time to reply to them, they get all apologetic and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, this was a good video actually. And it's like,
yeah, I've had that sometimes too, where it's like it's just a really horrendous comment, and then you like and then I respond something kind of like nice, you know. It's like, or at least at least
you like kind of take them seriously to a point.
Yeah, I take them seriously, and then like I ended with like, I know we disagree, but have a good day, you know. And then they come back, and then they're really like respectable and they're nice about it. And I'm like, damn, that's all it takes.
Dice Roland, how did you ever recover? I don't know what.
Yeah.
How are you alive?
They got you, man.
Yep. So, you know, we figured a good way to kind of, you know, loosen up and have a good time here at the top of the show before we get into discussing content, and then also content that's, you know, got very problematic, to say the least. Let's play a game. What do you think about that?
I love games. I spend so many hours of my day playing games. Let's go.
I think it's time to play the game.
Wait a minute.
Who
are you?
Is it me? Is it you? Who knows? Yes, you.
Does your person wear glasses? Yes.
He's an asshole.
All right.
Nice.
So, Pillar,
right.
how good do you think your ability to spot a grifter is?
I think I can spot them pretty well. I don't think I could tell them apart that easily.
Based on their video titles, though, what do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have a crack. I'll have a crack at it, but I'll make no promises.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I mean, you know, to be fair, I doubt you focus on the individuals as frequently as we have, right? Where we're
Possibly
like, actually,
not. Yeah. It all melts together into one big pile of sludge, from a pillar of garbage, even. For me,
got him. Got him.
I see.
I mean,
what do you got, Bob?
All right. These people hate you. The leftist media mad at Sound of Freedom.
Oh, man.
See, these are hard because this could be a bunch.
This is actually.
Is this all we get? We just get the title.
Yeah, just the title.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Bob
I got some thoughts.
Let's get chat's guesses for a minute, and then we can get a hint maybe.
Well, I am interested what Pillar's thoughts are.
I feel like two names have leapt to leapt at the tip of my tongue, and I don't know, because I probably have a different hierarchy of the main ones to you guys, but it's not quite well punctuated enough to be a nerdrotic one. So I'm thinking it's either I'm leaning towards heel versus babyface, Ryan Kinnell, or that Yellow Flash guy. That's the vibes I'm getting.
I will say I haven't seen the correct answer actually yet. I will say this is somebody who gets covered decently on here.
Melanie Mac.
I'll give you a few more minutes. Let's see. Got any more guesses, chat? Somebody's got to get this one. I'm actually surprised nobody's gotten this one yet.
Oh, I haven't gotten it. Okay.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
We cover them fairly often.
It's Eric July, yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I knew it. I actually have seen this now that I think about it, because I don't want to do it now because I will give away something. But I was scrolling through, I searched Sound of Freedom earlier on YouTube and just was scrolling through, and it is fucking upsetting. It is concerning. But here's another one. We cover this one fairly often too. Indiana Jones 5 gets destroyed at box office. Disney embarrassed by Sound of Freedom on July 4th.
This has to be someone like Ryan Kinnell or Geeks and Gamers.
Yeah.
Screens them.
Well, I mean, they're the only ones that are still cringe enough to still use destroyed all the time.
Yeah, and just trying to get
I could see
the different
nerdrotic on
buzzwords.
this.
It could also definitely be nerdrotic.
He likes his emotive language. He put embarrassed in there.
Yeah, that's true. It could be.
True.
That's it typically I think Ryan Kinnell would leave it at one kind of a statement, but
I think Ryan Kinnell just tries to I don't think he cares about how many statements. It's just he wants as many buzzwords in there as possible.
Ryan Kinnell piles in the statements.
Yeah, and the only the reason why I'm more towards someone like Ryan Kinnell than nerdrotic is simply because Ryan Kinnell uploads more.
Mm-hmm. And I will go ahead and say Turf got this one immediately. It is Ryan Kinnell.
Yeah. It's just
of course. Well, I mean, it's worth pointing out, so the whole narrative about destroying Indiana Jones, it edged out Indiana Jones on opening day versus Indiana Jones on its first day of release. And there's a lot of questions about the box office numbers for this thing, but we will get into that later.
We'll get to that.
But, yeah. This one. Pillar of Garbage lied about you, about the critical drinker. Oh shit. Pillar.
I didn't know this.
Pillar. How could you?
For some reason, this one looks kind of familiar. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah,
I thought that was a very good video, but you lied to us? What the hell?
Yeah. You might find this hard to believe, but people will just make things up on the internet, and I am one.
What?
Not a single sentence I've ever released on my channel is remotely factual.
I trusted you.
What?
The clue was in the name.
I blindly trusted you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's getting this one. It's an
EFAP. We actually covered that whenever it happened. That was really, I think I'd heard of you before that, but really the first time I became familiar with the content was, seeing that EFAP had done this and your response to your video, and I was like, what the hell? And I'd seen that, once we watched your video, it's like, dude, you're actually, how can you even deny that that's what Drinker did? If you've seen the movie, it's just
they found a way to, though, didn't they?
They found a way for sure.
5 hours of it,
do.
indeed.
Yeah.
I mean, they talked about you for 5 hours, so objectively, they are correct.
That is how it works. Yeah.
The longer your video is, the more correct you are. That's what that is, guys. These are facts. I'm sorry. If memory serves, the next one is the super easy one. The Blank recommends Sound of Freedom.
I have questions about this actually, about the video. This is it's obviously the critical drinker, right? But I have questions.
What?
I'll save
How do
these
you
for
know it's
later.
obviously.
Oh, I've just got a sixth sense about these things.
The geek and the gamer recommends.
The Nerderotic recommends. Yeah, everybody knows this one.
Yeah, what were you saying? What were you saying, Pillar?
Right, so I don't know, maybe I should save this for later, but like obviously I've not watched this because it's a point of personal pride that I watch as little of his content as I'm physically able to. But like how is he recommending this? Does he like, he's Scottish, right? But does he live in America? How has he seen this? Because it's only been released in America. So either maybe he does live there, I don't know. But if not, he's gone online to watch some like bootleg of it, or he hasn't seen it. And either way, his whole fencing shtick is kind of what a surprise! It doesn't hold up.
Yeah, that's true. Like, and you might see a video before long from some people that are on the stream right now that kind of goes into his fence sitting and whatnot.
How his shtick works.
Yep. Yeah. Have you noticed his pattern of video titles, like reviews, where he's like, it's a masterpiece, but it's garbage or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's just complete opposite stuff.
Like the Spider-Verse one is especially like that, right? It's like no masterpiece, but brilliant. I think
the best thing ever made, but makes me want to kill myself.
It's no masterpiece, but
he's total fence sitter. And I hate, actually, I almost want to say he's not actually a fence sitter, because obviously almost just being a fence sitter means you're saying something.
Drinker says he gets screeners, and to be honest, look, he probably did get a screener mailed directly.
He's really popular
from Angel Studios.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Not every big YouTube media channel is gonna get a screener if you got a screener.
No, I mean, he was, they probably know that he's the type of person who would recommend their movie, because it fits into the whole narrative.
Yeah.
Like, it's just good promotion from the fucking people who made the video, because they also know he's massive.
Well, I mean, he promoted Terror on the Prairie.
Yeah.
So
it didn't do much.
No, I mean, maybe he was responsible for like $100 of the $800 it made.
$800 opening weekend. Boom.
Who knows?
All right. Hollywood panics after what
happened?
this actor just said.
Oh, I know this one.
This is it. Wow, this title's actually pretty nondescript too. Like, you can put this on most of their videos.
This could be anyone.
Yeah.
Literally anyone. And you don't know if like this could be good or bad.
I guess I will give you guys a hint. This isn't like main Geeks and Gamers, but it's someone who works with them a lot.
Oh, is it Ryan Kennel or Epic, big Epic guy?
I mean, I thought that like the Panics, like there aren't that many of them who use Panic very often. I know Nerdrotic is one of them. I'm not sure if this is Nerdrotic. I feel like he's usually a bit more like open, or explicit, but it could also be just Sci-Rises. I don't know.
So wait, did you mean like they work with him, or they like work on the or they work on the channel with him?
You see, with Geeks and Gamers, I'm not sure. I know this person pops up on their videos fairly often, and seems like they're like the lead on it. It's not the main. Yeah.
It's likely Josiah Rises then, right? He's quite often on Geeks and Gamers.
You would be correct.
Nice. But isn't also true, like Nerdrotic uses Panic a lot. I feel like I've noticed that from his video. Yeah.
Usually it's in his thumbnails though, I think.
True. Yeah, like the big red fucking yellow letters.
All right. Jim Caviezel claims Disney tried to shut down Sound of Freedom. You weren't supposed to see this.
That's shitting into diapers.
Oh shit! Early entry.
Oh, so do you think that like is that a real quote?
Probably. Jim Caviezel's been caught saying some real cringe, especially recently.
We're gonna look into. I've got some stuff about that as well.
You weren't supposed to see it. It just sounds like it's supposed to be from like Disney being like, you weren't supposed to see this movie.
This one's interesting also because it's not like You know, it's not like paraphrasing using silly emotive language. It's like this is probably from one of the more plausible deniability enjoying channels, because it's just saying something innocuous, but like, you know, okay,
Yeah.
maybe he did say that, but the fact that all the viewers know the implications of this title.
Yeah. It's like I'm just stating the story, you know. I'm just
Yeah,
a neutral story.
It's not like Sound of Freedom destroys woke groomers. You know, it's not like that.
No.
It's the opposite.
It's like this person claims this very specific narrative thing, right? And I never like mention anyone from the other side. You know, it's like it's only this narrative, but it still has that like
Yeah, got it.
Oh, so yeah, Dane nailed it. Bounding into Comics is an interesting one because I don't typically like to cover channels that are smarter than me, but like again, Bounding into Comics just has such an influence over this community.
Did you say smarter than
like,
you?
Smaller. Although, yeah, no, they are geniuses. I will.
Intellectually, you cannot handle them.
I know. I mean, dude, like I have like research and stuff, but they have like this fucking bishop in like some fucking, you know, in Rome or something.
Their channel is kind of irrelevant just because of the reach that their website gets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm actually curious, Pillar. Have you like looked into Bounding into Comics?
I'm like aware that they're this, you know, fascistic website. I didn't know they had a YouTube channel, but I mean, looking on that view count, that I shouldn't really be surprised that I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not where they're like big on influence, but like the website is the main one. It's just Bounding into Comics runs very deep within a lot of these channels. Like a lot of the news that you'll see them talking about is from a Bounding into Comics like
almost
article.
Always when it's unsourced when they don't source it, you look into it, it's going to be Bounding into Comics. Almost always. And then sometimes they do source it, but yeah, they pop up all the time.
Yeah, it goes very deep. And yeah, it's a very good one to be like aware of because of how they all basically use it.
Yeah. Just to clarify, you know, before we, you know, because we're not going to get into it in detail until later on in the show, but they didn't try to shut it down. They just, so whenever it was a Fox production originally, and then Disney bought Fox. This was filmed and like finished in 2018. And so Disney, you know, bought Fox and they looked at all the movies. This is far from the only movie I'm sure that Disney decided.
It happened to a ton of them, didn't it? Like so many.
And yeah, you know, so the claim is that they, the way that Caviezel words it in that Bounding into Comics article is, it's like he's trying to do, you know, reasonable doubt, but it's clear what he's saying to the people that believe the shit he believes, that Disney tried to shut it down because they're pedophiles or something like that. You know, they're part of the whole sex trafficking thing or whatever. And it's like, he doesn't make that claim exactly, but he says that, yeah, they don't want you to see it and stuff like that. And what else would be the implication behind that statement, right?
Oh, well, this is something we haven't covered. I've covered these guys once, but like this is something to look over. Media freaks over Sound of Freedom success. It's okay if you guys don't get this one, but yeah,
so it's
I don't think we've ever covered them on the initiative. They're kind of an issue.
So it's something that you got the last part blacked out there. So it's somebody that puts their name or something identifiable.
Yep.
Huh. Clownfish? Yeah, I don't know. That's a guess.
Oh shit.
At this point, I'm clueless. All of my Grifter guessing faculties have been sort of worn down at this point.
Yeah. Well, we don't have too much more left. This is Saga and Jetty Breaking Point.
Oh God.
Oh
yeah. I used to like Breaking Points, and then they just got worse and worse.
This is a new one for me.
And worse. Yeah.
It's kind of out of the realm of what we normally cover.
It's a little bit outside of the realm, but they dip their toes. They know. Let's see. How many more do I have? Oh yes, this one is actually something I think of as more being just a channel rather than a YouTube channel.
God, what a title that is! Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Tim Ballard, pedophile, salivating at media outlets ripping Sound of Freedom.
What do you mean by man? I'm curious. I'm stuck on what that hint. I'm more confused. I think
it's a channel, not a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
it is a YouTube channel, but primarily when I think of these guys, I think of a regular channel, a cable channel to be precise.
Oh,
like Fox or yeah,
or OAN,
Daily Wire.
You pretty much it's Fox.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
And
Yeah,
go ahead, Ding.
I was just going to make a comment about how much he looks like Jim Caviezel, you know?
Well, the last one here, we'll go over this quickly, but this is just pointing out what's kind of become the problem. Because this hint's not going to be very useful at all. I will say this is somebody I don't consider a grifter whatsoever, but we'll go over why this is a problem. Just sound of freedom move review.
Oh, this would be like Jeremy Jones or something.
Yes, it's Jeremy Jones.
Bam, you got it immediately. You know, and he's talking about how, oh, wow, this is like a quiet success, and I should cover this. And we will get into why that's might be a bit of an issue, why the success of this is something I seriously call into question. You know, and
it is successful. It's just the way it's being framed. It's kind of like ISOM. You know, like, okay, you made a bunch of money, but like then there's a bunch of claims and dishonest framings that are being done after that.
But it caught his radar. But you guys want to look at like a thoughtful comment over at Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Hit me.
Fun. Oh yes. So this is a comment I got in my Indiana Jones video recently. Somebody want to read it?
Dane, would you do the honors?
Yeah, I'll do it.
So what exactly is this film in this film constituted being good for you, let alone objectively good? I mean, you first need a frame of reference for what an Indiana Jones film is supposed to be. And if you actually did have one, you might understand then that there's a solid objective argument for Temple of Doom being the purest Indiana Jones adventure.
So what do we
there's a lot to tackle here. First of all, so Bob, I guess you stated in your video that Dial of Destiny is objectively good.
I say not only is it objectively good, it's objectively the best movie ever made.
Yeah.
Take a shot every time a fucking idiot types objectively in a comment.
I know.
As I've said before, objectively is the new literally, right? Like they're literally using it.
It is literal.
It means the opposite thing, and they're using it.
Yeah.
It's quickly becoming an irrelevant term. Like, how do you objectively judge art? That's what I'd like to know. Just tell me.
The thing is, like, I've used the word objective in videos before, and like people always, I've also said, like, you know, you can't make objective value judgments on stuff, and like people are like, aha, that's a you know, you've contradicted yourself. But like, it's so annoying because like there is objectivity with art, right? Like I can look at Star Wars and say objectively that there is a space battle in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like the limits of objectivity is like making the observations, and then everything that comes on top of the observations, like whether something works, whether something's good, what something means, all of that stuff, that isn't objective. That, you know, without getting into the weeds of it, that's where objectivity stops, and that's where the people that don't understand like to they try and continue objectivity through that part. And I just, without getting any deeper into this massive rabbit hole, I just wish that people could like conceptualize that, because then so many silly comments would not exist.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't seen the rest of this one yet. It might change your mind.
I mean, because
So
wait, it was just like that third paragraph is also just
What does that mean?
Yeah, Temple of Doom being the purest Indiana Jones adventure.
Listen,
we talked about this beforehand. Like, Chad, whenever you think about Indiana Jones, what scenes come to mind? What imagery comes to mind? Oh shit, DJ will be joining us shortly.
Nice.
Absolutely. Well,
like,
I'll tell you what, killer of garbage.
I think of Indy running from the boulder. I think of like the idol scene.
The face melting as well, yeah.
Yeah.
All famously moments from Temple of Doom.
Right.
No, this guy's saying you might understand there is a solid objective argument for Temple of Doom as being the purest Indiana Jones adventure. I would pay good money to read that objective argument.
Yeah. Because
please give it to me.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Because I feel like, first of all, it's just a stupid thing to say overall, but it's like, even if I was to engage with it, right? It's like something being the purest of like a franchise, right? Like if you think of Star Wars, it doesn't matter which one is your favorite. Like you think of, if you had to pick the purest Star Wars movie, you'd go with A New Hope, right? Like the first one. That's the one that that was Star Wars to begin with, right? Like that's what I see with Indiana Jones. Like Raiders of the Lost Ark, that was the first one. That was Indiana Jones, right? Everything after that,
there's not much point really, picking out a purist film because, like,
exactly,
what is the point of that even?
It makes no sense.
That is so abstract as to be absurd to argue about. Like, it's just like, okay, you strongly believe that's the best one, and that's great. You are allowed to believe that.
That's the case of objectivity. Like, that is not an objective point. You could even saying A New Hope, like, it's objectively the original, and like I'd agree, as probably most people would, that it is the purest Star Wars. But like, you could make an argument to say that the franchise as we understand it today, is mainly about X theme and Y theme, and that those maybe came out more to the forefront in Empire or something. Like,
I think
what is the
overall,
point of any of that?
It's just like an incredibly irrelevant thing to talk about. Like, it doesn't mean anything.
What I always say, and they really get frustrated by it because they just think it's so stupid and simple, but it really is this simple. It's like, if it's objective, then how do we disagree?
Yeah.
I mean, we should all agree on it, right? Like, and then that would be it. The same way that like a table's a table. You know what I mean? And anyway,
I feel like I like to think of it as just like, as soon as you start like attributing quality to something within like the art, that's when it starts not being objective anymore. It's like, objectively they used cameras to film this movie.
Yeah.
But it's like, once they say they used the cameras in this film well, that's when it starts becoming subjective,
Yeah.
Like, then it's not objective anymore.
Objectively, it stars Harrison Ford and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. It was directed by James Mangold. This is objective.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. There's more. So like, maybe he kind of makes a stronger argument. So I'm gonna have to do the voice because apparently people don't like the voice. So do you actually know the original cinematographer for the first 3 films retired after The Last Crusade? He's also now dead as well. So because he's dead, does that make it even less pure, or is it like, I don't know. So being unable to authentically reproduce his cinematography, as was proven with Crystal Skull, not that it needed proving, any Indiana Jones film is going to feel inauthentic. And like, what?
Yeah.
Heck, there's even people, including myself, that think Slocum helped mask a lot of Last Crusade's problems, including that it went back to the well with Raiders. So if the well is Raiders, then wouldn't that be the purest one?
Yeah, why aren't they going back to the well of Temple of Doom? I thought Temple of Doom was like the pure Indiana Jones. Like, I would love this guy to describe tell me what is objectively the good Indiana Jones. Objectively.
This is objective. Thank you, Crazy Joe.
Cool.
Right. Yeah. Authenticity, right? Like, that's such another one of these things. It's like, we did a stream where we interviewed a guy that was like a former EFAP. He was actually kind of in their inner circle, and he'd had a falling out with them, and and he wanted to talk about how they're wrong about this stuff, and he's come to see that now. There were people in the chat, of course, that show up to be like, you're doing an attack stream or something like that. It's like, yeah, well, what do they do like all the time?
Yeah.
So whatever.
Well, EFAP's never done an attack stream, so
right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
and they're much larger than us too, and they do it to like much smaller channels. But anyway, like some of the arguments they were making were like, what was that one that like, fuck, I think I have a clip of it somewhere where Charles was just like, what the fuck? Because they were making an argument that something was objective.
It was something being objectively like the best one, and
I'll try and look for it later, but heck yeah. So okay, I already read that part. Went back to the well with Raiders and was departing more from its adventure serial routes. I think he means roots, like roots, but that's anyway. For something closer to a typical blockbuster action film of that time. Actually, do you think the Brotherhood of the Cruciform Sword employed excellent strategy and tactical thinking in their protection of the Holy Grail? Or were they just some plot device that needed to be set up and called upon later in the film? So, what is the difference? God damn, it's so stupid.
No, I mean, the Brother of the Cruciform Sword, like you could argue, what was that one guy doing like at the library and also later at the tanks? And it's like, he was there so the audience understood this is the same group. That's literally why he was there. It was for the audience, because movies are made for the audience. Do you understand that?
I don't understand it at all. I really don't.
Being perfectly honest, I've tried to read this second page like 5 times, and I've just completely lost the thread of what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Oh, it's just
Stop doing it, God.
We had the same idea at the same time.
All right. I'm going to do it so it plays completely. Nobody else took it. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
All right.
Nice. I'm glad we let that go in its completion. We've
very organic.
The stream was
Truly,
without
30
it,
seconds
yeah.
of time well spent.
Right.
Yeah.
We're killing it, man.
I'm glad we watched that clip to its fullest.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will tell you guys, like when we get into this, like the last paragraph legit makes no sense to me.
Is the character of Helena from Dial of Destiny the equivalent of Last Crusade's Elsa? Nazi, not Nazi, not Nazi.
I don't.
What does that mean?
I don't even know what you're trying to say.
I feel like these people just like they get their brains get just all jumbled up trying to think about this stuff, and they just end up just going, "Oh, it's objectively good." Like it's just a frustration point that they reach where they can't think about it any further. They have no they have no ability to analyze, no frame of reference for for just kind of judging media, and then also they're insecure, so they feel like they have to have the objective take, because if they have the wrong one, then that's like socially frowned upon. That's kind of generally how I see them.
Yeah. I get a sense like they're really concerned about, we gotta get this all perfect and correct. It's like, and then they spit out crap like this where it's like it's not even close. Not even.
Liam, I appreciate you trying to make sense of that comment, but it's very admirable attempt. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
it's very charitable.
Okay. Elsa Nazi, not Nazi. Is he trying to say maybe Elsa before us knowing she's Nazi is a different character than post Nazi, or
I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't understand it either.
It's like a to be.
It's like we're libertarians talk about roads.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know. Anybody else have anything on that?
Is there more to the comment, or is that how it ends?
That's it.
Yeah, mercifully, that's the end of it.
I thought at least there'd be like some kind of conclusion.
Was it too short for you, Turf?
It just feels like the guy had too many things going on in his head at the same time, and like just combusted at the end, and it just he just ended up clicking send anyway.
So when I click see more on a comment and I see it expand out like as big as this one, like I usually just ignore it. But this one was just such a bag of cats. I was just like, this is insanity. I just had to read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Pillar, we read that the twit longer that you did after your channel.
God.
And dude, that was really it was great. It was excellent. It was like just the perfect summary of those guys and how they operate.
I still get the really funny thing there is like I did that as a YouTube community post as well, and every couple of weeks, like very clearly some EFAP viewer who's only just now got through the back catalog hops on there all riled up. He's just seeing the episode, with the same 5 arguments the other 200 people have made, ready to sling, and it's just like just take a look at the rest of the comments. They're all saying the same thing. I've replied to 1 or 2 of them.
I know exactly. They're the most persistent. Go ahead, Turf.
Yeah. It's just like it's whenever you make a video on the critical drinker, and then there's like 1,000 comments saying like how you're jealous.
Yeah,
you have less subscribers than him.
I would just like to make the point. I have over 200 videos on my channel. Over 200 long videos, that is, not shorts. Probably getting up to 230 if you count shorts and Patreon exclusives. 2 of those are on the critical drinker. He's popped up like kind of obliquely in maybe I'd say maximum 2 other ones, like the one that's on screen now. So being very generous, maybe 5 he's in. So that is like like 1/40th of my content he's even like referenced in, and like they're like, ha, you're so jealous, it's so obvious.
Right.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, like, whenever they're like, oh, why can't you make content that without writing code somebody else, about a bigger channel? You're just doing that.
That's all I do.
It's like, dude, they do that about Marvel and Star Wars, and like, if you look at Drinker's content, we did this the other day, like most of his videos are about some Disney product. Like, they literally would be nowhere without Disney. And
yeah, and especially if you look at his second channel, like it's just so much more obvious then. Like it's just about the problems with everything,
Oh, thank you. My 2 cents of nonsense. It's very kind of you.
My 2 cents also has a great channel. I did it first.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, honestly, Pillar, like, I don't know how familiar you are, and no pressure to even like, answer for it or anything. But I don't know how familiar you are with our content or anything, but like, I've been doing this type of thing for about 3.5 years now. I like started my channel in order to address originally Comicsgate. And, I've definitely refined my arguments over time and gotten pretty confident with a lot of stuff. And these guys are excellent too. Pretty much, there's a handful of us, right? Like, but you're the one that's on screen right now. Woke Spotting Explained is the best video on this stuff that I've ever seen.
I will admit, I just saw it last night and it was amazing. Like,
yeah.
I actually wanted to clip it. I forgot to clip it. But like, there's this great moment where you talk about how like essentially being woke is like, it's a projection. It like media isn't woke. You project wokeness.
Well, I want to clarify that, like, there is this element, and I don't think any of us would deny that, like, sometimes major studios will, one of them, like, anytime there's a movie or anything, there's countless layers of reasons why anything is happening. There's so many writers, so many producers, actors, maybe ad-libbing, maybe wanting to do something. Maybe the editor wants to shape the movie in a certain way, blah blah blah. Even within a writer's mind, writing one line might have 5 or 6 different causes. So like, somewhere in that mix, yes, these are capitalist, corporations trying to make money. Yes, it is, it is in their interests to be hip and progressive. So yes, that is it's not an agenda. It's just capitalism. It's just capitalism. Right. Like,
yeah.
So there are points in these things where clearly, they're aligning themselves with like the dominant like socio-political values, but like, what I mean? Like, it's a drop in the bucket.
I get it. Yeah.
And
the argument I've made plenty of times is that just like the creators typically involved do genuinely care, right? Like, the artists involved, they give a shit, So like, yes, if you. It's of course the people, the bean counters, so to speak, the suits, they just see, oh, this woke stuff is doing really well, we can make some money on that. But like, typically, especially more lately, like, they're earlier on as this became more of a thing that was being prioritized as far as representation and whatnot. There was definitely, and there still is sometimes, some pretty cringy attempts. But I think that generally now, like, everyone, they figured out that, like, oh, they'll reject if it's inauthentic and like insincere.
Yeah, and it's there's this idea that like the corporations don't care about the quality of the product. All they care about is appeasing the woke feminists. And it's like, okay, right, I don't know, they obviously haven't thought about it for more than 5 seconds, but like, no writer gets a pitch from a studio. Hey, we want you to write our new movie. We don't care if it's fucking wank, right?
Yeah.
As long as you have a woman kiss another woman in the background, no writer's going to be like, yes, oh, I can't wait to devote months of my life to not putting any effort into my craft whatsoever and turning out a heaping pile of dog shit just because I'm going to get a pretty small paycheck. Like, no one is a writer by trade except for, like, I don't know, nepo babies, right? No one is a writer by trade because they want an easy paycheck.
No.
Yeah. It's like, I went to college for this. I dedicated, a lot of my early adult life to getting this job. So I'm just going to go ahead and fucking not give a shit except about these filling the, checking the boxes. Right.
Yeah.
Right. No writer is like, it blows my mind that they don't consider that a writer can have like motivations to write in a certain way, but also they want to do that as well. And anyway, and maybe that's even why they got hired, and that it's still genuine, even if there is some degree of rainbow capitalism. Sorry, I cut you off there.
Well, I mean, it's disingenuous just because that we live in capitalism. So anything that is there's a I mean, it really just disproves them when you think about it on the most basic level. There's a demand for it, so they're supplying demand. That's just how it works. But that's why they come up with like these, kind of not conspiracy, but like they misrepresent what ESG is. I don't know if you've gotten into that stuff yet.
I don't believe I have.
So it's a ESG, environmental, social, and governance. It's an investor kind of like protection clause, so to speak. I don't think it's like mandatory, or maybe it is. I don't know, but like it's
it's absolutely not mandatory.
Investors that are going to invest in a movie or movie studio, right? Like or any typically movie studio and media product. They're going to look at this. ESG is basically a list of criteria for like assurances to these investors that movie studios aren't going to, fuck over the environment, and they're going to, actually focus on, hiring people that aren't just cis straight white men.
Okay, right,
and you know what I mean. So like, and then the narrative has popped up, especially in the last year, that this is actually they're like paying Marvel and DC to push this diversity thing, and that's like it seems to be they're using that as an excuse for why these things keep, I guess, going. Because otherwise, why would they keep making them, right?
I mean, at this point, go woke, go broke is pretty much just fucking. It means nothing.
It's meaningless.
It keeps like all this woke stuff keeps on making money. So what's
it's
that
essentially
mean?
A pretty comprehensive to a degree. It's a misrepresentation, but it's a big. Just what it is. It's
pure cope.
Nice.
So.
True.
Nice.
True.
So is it sort of like a sort of tacit agreement that the investors' money and profile isn't going to end up being put on something that's going to make them look bad?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. The idea is like here's like an overview of kind of like where we stand on these social issues. Where do we plan to go in the future? And I'll be blunt. If you look at ESG reports, a lot of it is kind of just them it feels like a lot of them just letting the artists do stuff. And then essentially they'll put it in the ESG report. It seems like they don't really force anything.
Yeah.
And the reason they do this is for money.
Yeah, it's a fucking function of capitalism, which, these guys are supposedly for.
Fellas, is capitalism woke? Like, Jesus. I could talk about why I don't like anti-fandom, but I'd rather talk about why I like the term anti-fandom, because I think it's a really good term. Anti-fandom, this movement, isn't about fandom or the media. It's about power, it's about brotherhood and ganging up. It's about feeling like you know some big secret, like you're the little guy taking on the big, shadowy, leftist, woke powers. At the end of the day, it's make-believe, it's playing pretend for adults, or, man-children. Despite what any of them say, it isn't about fandom. It's contrary to the definition of fandom, which is basically liking things together as a community. The end result of all this is just a vortex of hate and misery, and it's all revolving around this missing center where the media or the community or the liking should be, and it just isn't.